What up YouTube, Topaz Yates back again, and as of recently there hasn't been a lot of music being released and things like that, man, and it's really because it's the first quarter now and people recovering from the holidays and gearing up for a later push and all that, man. So instead of just not doing anything, I decided I wanted to go ahead and catch back up on certain things that I missed when I was out there on break, you feel me? And I'm not going to do the elephant in the room everybody's been talking about, R. Kelly and stuff, especially when they hit the whole TV shows and all that stuff, man. I'm not going to touch on that outside of saying that R. Kelly is a scumbag. And black men do not do any of this stuff. You feel me? But let's go ahead and touch on a bunch of things that did happen over the break. Like a Lazy Bone coming out with a diss track towards 21 Savage and the Migos. Had two diss tracks actually, man. And I didn't hear these songs up until recently. But what I did see was the public outcry. People were saying how trash these songs were. Like dudes like Wiz Khalifa was clowning. Like individual people that I just follow because they put out music and all that stuff. They were saying how these songs were trash and all that. And the thing that should have told me the whole story was the fact that social media was crying about the songs, but yet there was no songs from 21 Savage or the Migos to go at them. Because if you believe that you're better and someone comes at you, then you should be able to prove that you're better, right? But yet the thing is, these songs that Lazy Bone dropped wasn't that bad. The Annihilation and Let Me Go Migo, these songs are pretty much better than anything that these individuals could do. And I like 21 Savage for what he's been doing with his career recently and stuff, how he's been progressing and stuff like that, man. And the Migos, they are super catchy and they are a dynamic group. But let's not get it twisted. Musically, they're still not among the greats of the music industry. And I'm not here trying to knock the youth or nothing like that, man. I still believe that Lazy Bone should have came at them in a different aspect to help them and groom them to become better instead of going at the necks and talking bad about them. Because like it or not, these people are carrying the torch of hip-hop. So we need to mold and teach and help them become better instead of slander them out of some grand scheme of, okay, the 90s was so much better. We should bring back the 90s and quality rappers when the game is going to move the way it moves. But don't sleep on those songs, man. There's a reason why these people stuck to their strengths and went at him on social media instead of going at him with songs. Something else that came out that I wanted to touch on was that the video for Nas's The Cop Shot the Kid. And it just serves as a reminder on why the whole Surgical Summer thing was such a failure, on why none of the music that came out of it was any good, because it just reminds you how bad it was, and you kind of want to enjoy this because this is Nas talking about some politically charged topics and stuff about how we get gunned down in the streets and such, which is deep. I like how he even brought in Slick Rick for the video and stuff, on how the video was actually touching on this the whole way. You enjoy that type of stuff, but it's ruined by the actual music that it's promoting. The song is trash to the point that you're like, why is Kanye even producing stuff anymore? Pete Rock came out talking about how Kanye don't want it with him on these skills and such, in which I completely believe him when you listen to projects like this. Another song that I wanted to touch on was Hobson came out with a couple songs actually, but the main one I want to touch on is that Low Key, where that joint was pretty fire. I think Hobson could definitely do better in all of this stuff. It wasn't a great song, but I like the concept of it, of okay, he's pulling up in the video on a skateboard, and the bouncer's like, man, you could have all of these women in here, dudes is up in here making it rain with all these hundreds, and you pulling up with a skateboard? Man, you need to go check that at the bar, bro. Come on. And it's like, nah, man, I'm way too low key to be acting like all of these other people act. And I love that because that's exactly how you need to be. Being so larger than life and crapping on people and stuff. That's why rappers get their chains snatched. That's why individuals just ain't getting no love in the communities and stuff, because you want to be so bigger and better than everybody and stuff and rub it in people's faces, and people get jealous and people be hating, which I'm not saying that that's cool. That's not cool at all. That's something that all communities need to get over. But yet these individual MCs in this game, man, you need to become more champions of your community and not inspire the hatred that's going to come along with it. Y'all need to be a lot more like Master P, who has not only recently been doing stuff, but he's been saying for a while that rappers need to do things for the community. But yet he recently paid for the funeral of a deceased 13-year-old man who he actually found commonality with and became friends with, who recently died. His name was Key Anthony Tyus, and mad respect to Master P for that, man, because this is really what's more necessary in the community than you going out there buying some more chains to get more rep so people can continue to hate on you. And speaking of positive things of the community and such, man, 50 Cent just cut a $3 million check to his own nonprofit, the G Unity Foundation, where what they're pretty much doing is splitting up this $3 million to go to other nonprofits that are specifically designed to pay for education in innermost cities, man, where education is not at a premium and stuff, man. And that's another deep thing that we in hip-hop need to continuously do, man. Build up the community, because we are all we got. But speaking of power moves, did you guys see that Chris Brown signed a new record deal with RCA Records, man? Well, you know, Chris Brown, he's been putting in work for a very long time, and I touched on this the last live stream that I did, man, because somebody was talking about how, you know, they made all of this money, so therefore they're the best, and they tried to compare themselves as the kings of R&B and all that, dude. But yet, when you look at individuals like Chris Brown, who never sold less than platinum, even at this point in his career where most people were washed up, he's still going platinum. So much so that he just got a new record deal through RCA where they're giving him his own masters. Now, nobody knows exactly if this means if the old songs he's getting his masters for, or is it like all just going to be for his new songs. 10 times out of 10, it's all for the new songs. He's getting all of the masters for that, man. But yet, you don't hear that very often. Especially not with black acts. Like, they'll give the masters to a bunch of the white acts and stuff like that who got massive, but yet they ain't been in the game nowhere near as long or done nowhere near as great as Chris Brown has consistently done in his life. But they finally came around to giving Chris Brown what he deserves, man. And I gotta give him nothing but the utmost respect, man, because you don't see that, like, outside of going back to Ray Charles. And the next thing I want to talk about is, did you guys see the XXL freshman list for this coming year? Seems to have been leaked. Now, it's not been confirmed by anybody. It looks legitimate, but you know, in a lot of cases, like, these things be fake. But yet, it wouldn't shock me when you look at the names and you look at how all of these names are signed to the record labels. So on the list, it was Rico Nasty, who signed to Atlantic Records. You got Lil Xan, who signed to Columbia Records. You got Saweetie, that was signed to Warner Brothers, in which I haven't even heard of that individual. You got Sheck West, who's signed to Interscope. You got Lil Baby, who's on Quality Control, but yet he's through Quality Control to Capitol Records right there. You got Juice WRLD, who's signed to Interscope. You got Young Rock, who's signed to Drake's label, OVO. And you got YBN Cordae, who's signed to Rap-A-Lot Records, man. And this is why I've been telling people for years, like, you're not going to make the XXL freshman class because you got to already be signed. You got to already be on. You feel me? Like, these people's path to the XXL freshman list, man, is already paid for by these labels. It's not about the music. You guys got to stop giving power to these lists from this magazine that's benefiting off of these labels who's paying them, obviously. It's obviously not about the criticisms and where the music is going. It's all about where the labels are promoting individuals, where the labels is spreading their money, and people are taking that money and making these lists. That's all that it is, dude. I hope you enjoyed the show. You can follow me at Twitter up there, and you can go to downloadpass.com, that's down there, to read today's article.